G'day, welcome back to the channel, and it has been a bit of a hot minute. About a week ago it was my birthday, and as a birthday present to myself, since my computer can handle it again, I decided to resub my Warlock Druid Paladin account to Warcraft. My Hunter and Mage is still inactive at the moment, but the past week I've been pretty much fighting lag because my prepaid data has been running at 1.45 megabytes, and grinding out, getting reacquainted with characters that I've really missed. I played these characters so long, but anyway, I thought when I got re-subbed, I learnt that if you recall with the Scholomance Doom level, I was saying that it was disappointing that they revamped Scholomance and got rid of the old version, and you can no longer run the old version. Well, today we are headed over there because I learnt that there is a secret hidden chain now which allows you to unlock vanilla Scholomance, and then unlocking vanilla Scholomance leads to a further chain that allows you to unlock vanilla Naxxramas, which will allow you to get full tier 3 if you've got 2.8 million gold and no 300 vanilla crafter from back in the day who had their full tier 3 set in the first place. So, bit of an eye twitching thing there, but anyway, I did try to make a walkthrough guide on how to unlock Scholo, but I kept getting disconnected, and I realised that I hadn't activated my mic the whole time. I'm still, I'm trying some new recording software. Apparently Windows 10 has its own built-in stuff, so I've been experimenting with that rather than NCH. But anyway, come with me. And my beacon macro is not working, apparently. Oh well. Oh, it did work. I just had my thing off. Because I am going to, instead of doing a walkthrough on how to unlock Old Scrollo, because I've already done it, I'm going to do a comparison. I'm going to do a quick run through of, because I'm over leveled for this dungeon, so I can solo it. I'm going to do a run through of the current retail Scholomance, which is what the Doom level is based on, so you'll have a good visual comparison for the Doom level, and then I'm going to run old school vanilla Scholo, so you can see just how much it changed. So to go into retail, we enter through this door here and through the dungeon portal here. When we want to go to vanilla Scholo, we're going to go and interact with that altar and book, which is not there unless you've unlocked the chain. So these characters, I've played this game since just about a month after launch, so not quite since the very beginning, but since the very beginning. And this and my Druid are my oldest characters. Okay, so if you see here, this is the same starting area where, I might leave that off because I know what my spells are. This is the same starting area where you start in the Doom level, and of course there's that down there. If you see, if you note, you can't jump over that wall on either side, and Blizzard used the cheap and nasty of just make it an invisible wall without an actual visible barrier. Yeah, but anyway, this is the current live version. So we come in here, and you'll note that the door to go further is that way. And this is the first boss for this version of the dungeon. I'm getting a bit of a lag spike, as you can see already. But it's not significant for such a low level dungeon. In fact, just so you've got an idea, they're level 35. You probably don't need to kill all this trash, but especially given that we can just walk past most of it. But I always used to love coming in here and then pretending like I'd taken over the place after I'd killed Gandling.
Class dismissed. I can never die.
This is pretty true for a lich, if you're not silly enough to keep your phylactery 2 feet away from where you are. Okay, so you'll note in this version of the dungeon, there's no door here. The door out of the room is over here, and that will become significant in a little bit. But we come out here, down here, just like we did in the dungeon in the Doom level, and it brings us into Jandus Barroth's room, which is the room that had the pain elemental, if you'll remember. Now, one thing to note about these corpses that are following me is that they all die as soon as they're dead. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean they won't get back up again once they die. Once they're dead, as you can see, they're dead. What did we get? I don't even know because I've got the UI turned off. So this was the pain elemental boss that was that split. That would vanish at certain percentages and then split into a bunch of lost souls. What that was replicating is this boss's mechanic, where you'll get her every 25%. She'll vanish and then split into multiple copies of mirror images of herself, and you've got to try and find the real one. And now we're into Radagor's room.
We have visitors. Their deaths only. What's the matter, boss? Getting tired? Isn't it beautiful?
And yes, I'm running around with the Thunder Fury. That's only a transmog, don't get excited. I've got Sulphurus in my bank.
My dear, you should embrace this gift.
Oh, and I've got a Warblade in my bank, actually.
Your life ends once I catch my breath.
Okay, so these skeletons are like the zombie men were in the Doom level. They're supposed to walk off those graves piles and bone piles and constantly attack you. And they do it constantly from the start. But ever since they revamped this dungeon, these skeletons always evade bug and glitch out there. I don't know why. It does. It is what it is, I guess. I'm having this loot bug since I come back. I have to loot twice before it will auto loot. So down here, we can't go down here in this version of the dungeon, but that's where Kurtanos the Blood Herald is fought. You need to go upstairs in vanilla and get the Blood of the Innocents to fight him. And I forgot to grab it out of the bank. But anyway, you can't get in there in this version. It's not a fight. So we continue on through here like we did in the Doom level. And this is where Theolan Krasinov will sometimes spawn in this version of the dungeon as a rare, boss, mob. He will only spawn on heroic mode and will only spawn after Radagor's dead. So if Radagor dies and there's a shout here, that will shout out and say,
The doctor is in.
if you see that, you know Theolan's spawned, and he looks exactly like this. If you don't see that, he hasn't spawned, and there's no point. Now that's important if you want to do the chain to unlock Old Scholo. Why? Because you need this toy to transform into the visage of Dr. Theolan Krasinov. um, to get further into the chain. And you don't need to have the toy. You just need to have someone in the group with you who happens to have it. I wanted to get the toy and do it for myself because again, I was trying to do a walkthrough video and that didn't work out. Okay, so now we're here in this sort of study library area, and you'll see that there's that door there and that door there which we can't go through. They were old wings, and I can't wait to show them off. The original version is the far superior version of this stuff, without a doubt.
I am the dark.
This fight always felt lackluster to me.
I won't let you.
I don't know, and I can't really specifically put my finger on it, but it felt out of place in Scholo. After the amount of years that I spent farming the original dungeon, this felt like a disjointed experience. This whole version of the dungeon felt truncated
The bones.
and that's not a complaint. Like, they did a really good job of revamping it. I just wish they hadn't. This was a dungeon that wasn't in a zone that was affected by the Cataclysm stuff. And it shouldn't have. So, if you remember in the Doom video, I said you go down here to go to the headmaster's room, but in the retail it's down here instead. Have a look at the detailing in this room. Now, not only is the Doom level like so accurate, but note how a good setup for study these students have in the modern Scholomance. These guys don't know necromancy study. They don't. The students that came before them used to walk up 5 kilometers of hills, snowy, I don't know. What's the old meme? But these guys are living in luxury. They've got bookshelves with all the books they could possibly require on the dark arts. They've got study tables full of chemicals and test tube vials. Living the life. Now we're almost done, so not far from the old version. This boss is pretty fun. I will admit that. But now we come in here and we go down here to the headmaster's chamber, which is actually an alchemy lab in vanilla. But we'll see that. Just like these top rooms.
I'll use you to teach a lesson. School is in session.
I meant to wave to him. I didn't mean to kill him already. But there you go. That was gambling dead. And these top rooms in vanilla. The top rooms, and there's rooms corresponding with them directly below them, as you can see. They each held a mini boss in vanilla layer, which you had to kill before Gandalf would spawn in, and then the rooms themselves would be part of Gandalf's mechanic, where randomly at different intervals he would teleport different members of the group into one of the rooms, and the cage would block, and you'd have to kill the trash ads. Now that mechanic applies here still, and that's why the rooms are still there. But there's no mobs in there, nothing needs to be killed. I have no idea what he just dropped then. Not the headmaster's charge. Okay, so that's retail Scholomance. And I like it. I like it. But it's an example of Scholomance in name, not Scholomance in spirit. Well, no, that's a lie. It is in very much spiritually Scholomance. But the fights compared to the original and the extra rooms and stuff, like they cut a significant number of bosses. We're done. That's all the bosses. That's what Jandalf, Jandis Barov, Rudalgore, Lillian Voss, and yeah, Gandalf. 4 bosses. 4 bosses. Compared to why am I on raids? Oh wait, I think it still says the modern version of it. Yeah. See, okay, 5 bosses. Instructor Chilhart, Jandis Barrow, Rudalgore, Lillian Voss, Dark Master Gandalf. And it's not showing the classic version of the dungeon. Yeah, no, it's not showing the classic version of the dungeon. Oh wait, I am in Heroic. Oh, I am in Heroic, so maybe... No, because Krasnov didn't spawn. Just give me Burning Rush. We'll get out of here. And I will be back with more Doom soon. I can't promise when. I've been playing, like I said, I've been grinding and focusing on this a lot lately because there's the 21st anniversary celebrations at the moment, and it frustrates me when games put limited time only things with things that you can earn in them. It makes my eye twitch, but I get really, really hooked. Like No Man's Sky Expeditions, love them. Frustrates the hell out of me that once, if you miss them, it's done and you can't get them again. So at the moment they've got the 21st anniversary thing, and they're also, as when I came back, they're right in the middle of a thing called Legion Remix, which to me just feels like a No Man's Sky Expedition. You're running through, you create a separate character which is supposed to be an alternate version of you that it switches out with you in the timelines to help the Infinite Dragonflight study that particular time period, Legion. And they've sped up all the XP gains and all the quests and time gating and everything. And there's a whole bunch of cosmetics to unlock, like the cape that you saw me wearing. Let me get up. Like this cape. There's actually 3 different sets that comes from. Oh, and now that's not the one. I need... There's my slug arrow, there we go. So there's, just for doing the Legion Remix, I think, I can't remember what the requirement for that one was. I was doing 100 world quests, then this one was killing 100 oh shit, I can't remember, something in the heroic world tier, which is a harder version of the thing, and this is doing level 30 mythic plus, and then this version is for completing all mythic raids. So I just got the cape transmogged on because I like my void heart. But anyway, let's enter Eva's Enchanted Journal and read the grim history of Scholomance. I love this so much. Like, I've had the biggest grin on my face for the past week or so. I've already gotten Naxxramas unlocked and started work on trying to get my tier 3, but like then I realised it's going to cost 2.8 million. So I went and stole Instructor Resuvius's mount, which is now available in old school Naxxramas. But here we are in old school vanilla Scholomance, and in that same starting chamber you'll notice that it's the same chamber, but look at the subtle differences. I actually think these graphics texture sets are a bit more realistic and less cartoony, slightly less cartoony, which is funny because Warcraft's always had a cartoony feel. But I like this style slightly better. And I think this lighting is better than the green and purple for this room. But now, I'm going to summon an Eye of Kilrog because I don't want to skip the dungeon. Now, if you've run the dungeon previously and gotten the key for... Where's the door? For that door down there, if you've gotten the viewing room key in a previous run, then you were able to do this. Jump right over both those barriers and skip half the dungeon. Of course, you'd have to deal with all these diseased and risen aberration, ghouls and aberrations, but you could 100% skip half the dungeon. I love the way the gates open better too. Very subtle differences, and you'll note this time there's a door there, but there's no door over there, and Professor Chillfrost doesn't exist, so I'm not going to summon all the trash this time. But look how different this room is, and here's another significant difference. It's small, but significant. In the modern version, and in the Doom level, this wall is solid straight across here. However, in vanilla, you could come in here and you could view down into the viewing room door room. And if I remember correctly, there was a quest item on one of these bookshelves, but it's been so long, I'm not positive on that. But anyway, instead of going that way, we go this way, which leads down here, and instead of into Jandis Barrov's room, leads directly into this room. And you'll notice that the summoners, the necromancers, aren't summoning skeletons constantly. They will start summoning them if I get close and aggro them, and then it will be a constant thing until they die. But they're not constant and permanent. Summoning from all the things, which makes the the modern version even a bit more disappointing, because like they evade bug there, and they've evade bugged since Mr. Pandaria when Blizzard revamped this. So, the indie development studio guys, gotta give them a break. So here's where we go for Kurtanos, and I'll show you a trick here once we've finished and killed him. I don't have the Blood of the Innocents on me. Yeah, see, missing region, Blood of the Innocents, but we'll get one from Kurtanos. Kurtanos is actually, not Kurtanos, Krastenov. Theolian Krastenov is actually a boss, a mini-boss in this version. He's a permanent mini-boss that needs to be killed for Gandalf to spawn. And here you'll see we're in this chamber now, where Krastenov has taken over in the modern version. And you'll see that these gates are open in these versions. So we'll go down this way first, because this is where Jandis Barov resides in classic vanilla WoW. And still mind smacked, like gobsmacked, that I can enter and go through this again. I've been thinking about trying to form a group. Watch this. See how his name's not gone? He's dead. And if I take that up, he's dead. But you watch, he'll get up in a second. See? He got up. And that's what I was talking about when we were in the retail version in this room. See?
I don't have a target.
That was something that killed a lot of parties because they just weren't ready for it. Like, they'd go and kill trash and move on, and then all these reanimated corpses would come and get them from behind. Now, I kind of really like the lighting. It reminds me of a lot of the ambient lighting that you can do with Doom 2 nowadays, like the Doom 64 style lighting in the modern version. But again, I think this room's better for the lack of that slightly green glow. Like, the green glow is good, I like it, wouldn't argue with it, but there's something so cold and dark and bleak about this room being just like this grey brick full of corpses. So here's something you'll notice, that in this version, obviously we can't move further forward, but Jandis is actually in a little alcove rather than sitting against the wall. And when you kill her, she drops this book. And back in the day, this book, if you were a 300 tailor, particularly if you were a 300 tailor and a warlock, you wanted this book. Because this is the Journal of Jandis Barrel, filled with rantings and ravings about the undead. Towards the end of the book is what appears to be a tailoring pattern for the creation of a fell cloth bag. This bag is used by warlocks to store soul shards. You already know how to create this bag. And I do, because back in vanilla, I did the thing and the stuff because of reasons. Became a 300 tailor. Oh no. And this is why I haven't done a video recently. Oh, there we go. Don't know what that was, but that's what's been causing problems with my thing. Videos lately. Fell cloth. So a fell cloth bag was a 16 slot bag, and then you could get a core fell cloth bag, which is an 18 slot bag, and back in the day they were huge. They'd go in your last slot, and they'd stop all your soul shards that you farmed as a warlock from going into the rest of your bags. Kept nice and tidy. A godsend. And then of course, they got rid of soul shards in that manner. These are our soul shards now. We don't have to farm them up by killing mobs and draining their souls to store them or anything. And you know, it's good. It stops you needing to go farm soul shards constantly. So you've got a constant bag full of them. But also, it's kind of part of the class's flavour. RP, you know what I mean? Like I miss farming soul shards, as crazy as that sounds. Used to do it before a raid, every day, every time. Make sure I had a full bag for summoning. My druid make sure I had enough Black Lotus and stuff, and I could go in here and craft the whole raid with flasks. These plagued whelplings were brutal back in the day at the correct level. That poison that they're spitting hit really hard. But you'll see that in this room, there's these holes along the wall, and you can actually drop down in there. It's safe for me to do so, but I'm not going to. But at level, it's probably advisable not to, because you'll probably aggro some of these things. These constructs, because the holes are right above these bone piles. See? Let me zoom in, as you can see. So you'll probably get down, and this is Rattlegaw's actual room. And warlocks and paladins from vanilla will be, even from the Burning Crusade, because I did it on my Blood Elf paladin, very familiar with this room. Sorry, paladins will be very familiar with this room. I can't remember if I had to come here in my warlock. I think I did. Paladins have to come here and fight their paladin mount steed to tame it for their class mount. I had to go to Dire Maul to fight the Dread Steed. There's the viewing room key. So if you come in here and you go down and don't kill Radagor, and no one has the viewing room key, that's your dungeon run. But like everyone kills Rattlegore. Who doesn't want to kill Rattlegore? Excuse me. Alright, we are roughly halfway through the dungeon now. And now we're coming into the room with the viewing room door. And this is packed with, again, these creatures that put a debuff that really hurts. I used to love getting to this room and clearing it. It meant that we weren't far from Gandling. And in this version of the room, there's a bunch of little books that you can actually read. The Invasion of Draenor. I can't remember what else there was. There used to be like a candlestick that you could pull that would open this gate, and that locked chest behind there could be opened. I do not remember how to open it, because again I'm sure it was a candlestick, but I haven't been able to recall how to do it or find how to do it. But now we're in the viewing room, and look at what these students used to deal with. This is their study hall. No tables, no chairs, no nice neat benches and rows of chemistry tools and books of necromancy. These students won't react either until you kill their instructors, Vectus and Marduk Blackpool. So now you'll notice that there's that room there, and we can interact with that. And there's the room where we went to get Gandling in the retail. So these guys here, they're neutral, but they are bosses. And if I recall correctly, there was a quest which is why you can talk to them. There was a quest that sent you here for the gods only know what or who now anymore. But hey, that's cool. But yeah, I don't remember what they were, what the quest was. But there was a quest to talk to them, and that's why they're neutral and can be spoken with. But as you can see, the moment you attack their teachers, all the students become hostile. So just deal with them, and now we'll come in here. And you'll notice the stairs turn to the right instead of the left, and we head down here. See how the coloured glowing is used to quite really good effect here? Like, it's not all over the dungeon. The dungeon looks like a creepy school of necromancy. I mean, it does in the other version too. And look at this laboratory. It's amazing. Endgame raiders would, alchemist endgame raiders would be very, very, very familiar with this room, because there were exactly 2 alchemy tables, like alchemy labs, these tables here, in the entire of World of Warcraft in vanilla, and that was in this one here in Scholomance, and the other one was, this is a 5-man dungeon, the other one was in a 40-man raid, about halfway through, and alchemists required these tables. They had to be at one of these tables to craft the various flasks required for endgame raiding. Let that sink in. It was a lot of effort to go, not just gathering and getting on the same schedule 40 different people, then all the different gathering and stuff you needed to raid. But anyway, I'm babbling. This is Ras Frostwhisper. He and Kilthazard some absolute favourite characters, but Ras in particular, he has some very interesting lore behind him, which I'm not going to get into right now. But yeah, you see I'm gathering up these Invader Scourge Stones. They haven't dropped since vanilla. But I need them to, unlocking the classic version and classic max gave me unlocked the ability to gather them again, because they are used to trade for death bargaining chips. Trade these corrupt Scourge Stones or 10 of these for one of these, and then they get traded for the various different items that you can buy from Naxxramas, which are a lot of the old school transmogs like armor gear and stuff like that. But now we can actually go in this door. And you'll see the setup is exactly the same once we go down the steps and come in here. But you'll notice that Gandling is not spawned in. And we've got all these rooms. So let's go to this room first. This was one of my favourites. This could be a party group breaker. Like, this could be a group killer. Because this room is full of those reanimated corpses. Lots of plague effects. And yeah, they packed up punching their hits big time. And it was a pretty good show as to how good your group was, if they could deal with this. Yeah, a weird loot bug where it doesn't actually loot for me the first time I click. And oh, I got the boss in that. I was going to leave the boss and just one-shot it. He's an reanimated corpse. He's going to come after me.
I don't have a target.
You can keep doing this. That's not going to really affect them until they get back up again, though. Did you see that? 41 million. That's insane. Like, legitimately, I'm not even level capped because I don't have War Within. And I haven't bought Midnight yet. Over the years, Blizzard have constantly gone, oh, we're going to do a level squish because big numbers are bad for computers and they have heart attacks. Which, you know, they do. When they get big enough, it takes a long time for them to calculate them. But they keep doing level squishes, and then I keep doing still ridiculous stuff like that. I'm not level capped. I'm not even in decent gear. Again, granted, these are trash mobs that are like level 37, 30. But, you know, I'm still hitting for 10 million crits on mobs that are my level, which is insane. So now we take out Instructor Malaysia and her students. Yeah, of course, I already know it. And oops, I did skip him deliberately. Now we go back in here. And as you'll see, Dr. Theolan Krasinov is right there. So in the modern version, if you're wanting to unlock this, once you've got the bag or you've got someone with the bag, you need to clear the dungeon completely, the retail version of the dungeon completely, and you need to come up to this room, and this pile of bones is still here. Once you do that, after you've killed Gandling, you use the toy, which I'm guessing I'm lagging again. No. Oh, maybe it's still got some cooldown going. No? No, it's not letting me use the toy for some reason. But you use the toy here, and Ava's ghost will appear. If you remember the journal that we read to start this version of the dungeon? Ava is one of the head servants of the house, and her and her husband went through hell. So she appears terrified, and you've got to remove the disguise, and then you can talk to her, and she'll realise that you're not Krastanov, and she'll give you the quest to start unlocking Scholo. I don't know why it's not letting me fight turn. It does work because I like transforming into Krastanov and letting him see the new version of himself. But anyway, that's those three. Just 3 more rooms to clear, then Gandling, and we're done for the day, for the video. And I can get back to Doom. So the Ravinian, these all have lore behind them. There are actual significant lore behind them. I think that there's for a quest too, a hidden puzzle. I can't remember what. So that's thing. This guy here, these two, this pool was hard, even though it's only 2 mobs. But this is Alexei Barov, who is one of the household members who originally owned the estate. They were extremely rich and wealthy. Their influence and land ownership spread far and wide, and they slowly ended up getting jealous and corrupted, and ended up letting Kelsithard set up his school of necromancy here in exchange for their immortality, and to becoming instructors here. So here's his sister, Lady Lucia Baron. She's dead. Now the other guy, there's actually was a quest in vanilla to kill Alexei Barov, and if you killed him, you'd get Barov family peasant caller, which was the most overpowered trinket for PvP, because you'd use this trinket and it would summon 3 members of the Barov family to come and wail on whatever enemy is attacking you. But there's Gandling. We kill him now. No. Oh, I thought I'd already collected that years ago, so maybe because I deleted it before they put in the transmog things where all appearances essentially get collected. That's not the one I'm thinking of. I'm talking about the one from Gandling. I used to wield it on both my mage and my warlock. Still no headmaster's charge. We've got an ace of portals. Don't really need that either. But that's it. That's the classic version of Scholomance. And still very similar to the retail, but such a significant difference, wouldn't you agree? But if you sat through all this and made it this far, thanks for watching. Appreciate that, because this is not Doom. But I do want to make the odd WoW video every now and again, now that I can play it again. Although, at this point, I've played the game so long, I play it for my characters. Because there's still a lot I love about the game, but it feels more like a theme park where you go in, queue up for your ride, and then go home at the end of the day, whereas vanilla was very much an open, breathing, thriving world where you would have the most random encounters with other adventurers. I remember back years ago, I was like level 40, I think. I'd just gotten my first warlock mount, and I bumped into a warlock in the Badlands right next to Ratchet. We were... So there's Ratchet, and this has changed because of the Cataclysm, but I was essentially pottering around here doing something, and bumped into this level 60 Warlock, who happened to be a 300 raid tier Tailor. And he asked me if I had... Because I'd been looking for... That's right, I was looking for someone to do the robes, which you got as a reward for one of the Warlock quests at that level. And he happened to be in the area and know the plans for the robes. And then he asked me if I had a fellcloth bag, and he went and made it for me. Didn't even charge me, which blew my mind, because those bags were not cheap back in the day. Here's Calidus. Do I have my spectral essence? I do not. So, this place looks pretty empty. Except for Magnus over there, that ghost. There's actually ghosts all around us. There's mounted ghosts patrolling around here. There's a child over here at the fountain. There's a bunch of other ghosts around here. And there's a vending ghost in here. And a bunch of other ghosts over here too. And they're all the citizens of Caldaro who died. And I know it doesn't look like they are there. You need to have a special trinket called the Spectral Essence equipped to see them, and I don't have it on me in my bags to equip it, so I can't show you. But anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching, everyone. That was fun. I'm glad I got to do that comparison. I didn't expect it to take 47 minutes, so I hope you guys enjoy, and especially considering it's not Doom. So thanks for watching, and I promise it will be a Doom video in the next one. Catch you next time.